Imagine a woman who walks through life like a storm, calm in her center, unshaken by the chaos around her. She doesn't seek the spotlight, yet she commands attention. She doesn't beg for approval, yet she earns respect. She doesn't fear solitude, yet she is never truly alone. Why? Because she has mastered the art of being with herself. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you this. Have you ever met a woman who knows her worth so deeply that the world calls her dangerous? Let me tell you about her. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. Have you ever seen a lioness walk alone? She moves in silence, yet with undeniable strength. Her steps are deliberate, her gaze unwavering. She doesn't beg for company or seek approval. She doesn't need the validation of the pack to know her place in the jungle. And yet when she moves, the entire jungle watches. The air shifts, the trees seem to whisper, and even the mightiest predators pause to acknowledge her presence. Now, imagine a woman like that. A woman who doesn't fill her days with noise, who doesn't chase applause, who doesn't fear walking alone. She isn't lonely, she is powerful. And that, my friends, makes her dangerous. Because a woman who spends time alone is a woman who knows herself. And when she knows herself, who can stop her? A woman alone is not weak. She is wise. This statement challenges the misconception that solitude is a sign of loneliness or vulnerability. In a world that often measures a woman's worth by her relationships, social circles, and outward engagements, the idea of a woman choosing solitude unsettles many. It defies the narrative that a woman's value is tied to how many people surround her, how many likes she garners, or how much attention she commands. But what they fail to understand is that her solitude is not a cry for help. It is a declaration of strength. When a woman chooses to spend time alone, she isn't running from the world. She is seeking herself. In the quiet, she listens to her own thoughts, free from the noise of external opinions. She learns who she is without society dictating who she should be. While others conform, she discovers. This discovery isn't always easy, but it is necessary. A woman who embraces solitude sharpens her mind, reflects on her life, and gains a profound understanding of her worth. She is wise because she has learned that happiness doesn't come from constant validation. She doesn't need others to remind her she is beautiful, strong, or capable. She already knows. Her confidence isn't built on the approval of others, but on the unshakable foundation of self-assurance. Society often teaches women to fear solitude as if being alone is a punishment. But the truth is, solitude is a privilege. It is a sacred space where a woman can dream without limits, plan without interference, and grow without distraction. In her moments of solitude, she doesn't weaken. She strengthens. She learns the art of self-reliance, the power of resilience, and the depth of her own wisdom. When challenges arise, she doesn't break easily. She has spent time preparing herself in the quiet, facing her doubts, confronting her fears, and developing a mind that is both clear and unshakable. She doesn't crumble under pressure because she has built herself from the inside out. While others seek comfort in crowds, she finds comfort in her own presence, knowing she is her own greatest ally. She isn't easily deceived because she sees through the masks people wear. She isn't easily manipulated because she has trained her mind to think critically. She isn't afraid to stand alone because she has done it before and found strength in the experience. The world may call her dangerous, but what they truly fear is her independence. A woman who walks alone doesn't do so out of weakness, but out of wisdom. She understands that her journey is her own. She doesn't fear solitude. She embraces it. She doesn't seek permission. She grants it to herself. And in doing so, she becomes the kind of woman the world cannot ignore. She knows herself, and that's dangerous. A woman who truly knows who she is cannot be controlled, persuaded, or deceived. She moves through life with a certainty that unsettles those who thrive on the uncertainty of others. She isn't waiting for someone to tell her who she should be because She has already discovered it within herself. She doesn't seek validation because she understands her own worth without needing reminders. This self-awareness is power, and power is always seen as dangerous by those who wish to keep others small. A woman who knows herself has taken the time to understand her thoughts, desires, and strengths. She has stood in front of the mirror not just to admire her reflection, but to ask herself the hard questions. Who am I? What do I want? What do I believe? And unlike many, she has found the courage to answer them honestly. This honesty gives her direction, and direction gives her purpose. And when a woman has purpose, she cannot be easily swayed. She doesn't live according to the expectations of others. She doesn't bend her values, their acceptance, or conform just to fit in. The world often expects women to be agreeable, accommodating, and small enough to remain unnoticed. But a woman who knows herself is none of those things. She takes up space. She speaks her mind. She demands to be heard. And for those who prefer silence and submission, she is a threat. When she walks into a room, she carries an energy that cannot be ignored. She doesn't need to announce her presence because her confidence does it for her. She has spent time alone learning what makes her strong, what makes her vulnerable, and what makes her unstoppable. She has faced her fears and realized most of them were illusions designed to keep her in place. Now she is free, and freedom for a woman who has been told to stay within limits is dangerous. She won't stay in relationships that diminish her because she has learned to enjoy her own company. She won't tolerate disrespect because she respects herself too much to allow it. She won't wait for someone to save her because she has already saved herself. This kind of woman doesn't fear being alone because solitude has been her greatest teacher. She doesn't chase after things that aren't meant for her because she knows what she deserves. She moves with intention, speaks with wisdom, and lives with a certainty that others find unsettling. They call her dangerous because they cannot control her. They call her dangerous because she refuses to be tamed. They call her dangerous because she has found her power and she wields it unapologetically. She is the architect of her own destiny, the writer of her own story, and the master of her own fate. She doesn't follow paths laid out by others, she builds her own. And in doing so, she proves that a woman who knows herself, who stands in her own power, and who refuses to be controlled is the most unstoppable force of all. Thank you for being part of this powerful conversation today. If this message sparked something in you, hit that like button, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that inspire, empower, and ignite change. Remember, the world may try to define you, but only you hold the pen to your story. Stay bold, stay unshakable, and keep rising. Until next time, this is your channel name where strength meets purpose. See you soon.